With the arrival of Anthony Davis to the Dallas Mavericks and the departure of their franchise player, Luka Doncic, the team has undergone significant changes. Their overall gameplay, strengths and weaknesses, and even their team identity have all been altered. But the big question remains, is this change for the better or worse? Just last year, the Dallas Mavericks reached the NBA Finals. They had an impressive playoff run, defeating several strong teams along the way. However, they fell short in the end against the powerhouse Boston Celtics. Typically, when a team reaches the finals, they don't make drastic changes to their roster. Instead, they focus on strengthening their core while keeping their star players intact. But the Mavericks did the opposite. They traded away their franchise player. The reason behind this move? According to the Mavericks front office, they lacked defense, which they believed was the key to winning a championship. At least that's the mindset of Mavs GM Nico Harrison. That's why they specifically targeted Anthony Davis in hopes of improving their win-now team. However, no matter how you look at it, this was a massive gamble for the front office. The decision was so unexpected and, to many, made little sense, leading to intense backlash from their own fan base. Still, the Mavericks believe this move will benefit the team in the long run. The front office seems satisfied with their decision, and from a strategic perspective, you can see their vision. After all, they still have a talented scorer in Kyrie Irving. There's no doubt that Anthony Davis will significantly improve their defense. He's one of the best defenders in the NBA. He is also among the league's few true two-way superstars. On top of that, Davis is a capable scorer who can drop 30-plus points on any given night, regularly posting double-doubles and carrying his team. He was the main reason the Lakers finished as the fifth seed in the Western Conference last season, leading them on both offense and defense. What's promising is that Davis himself has expressed that he feels more comfortable playing as a power forward, where his game thrives the most. And since the Mavericks have reliable centers in Daniel Gafford and Derek Lively, this setup works in Davis's favor. Fans are eager to see how he performs in Dallas, with expectations for him to dominate both scoring and defense. With more freedom to utilize his defensive versatility, no longer being limited to just protecting the paint, Davis can also take on wings while still having a rim protector behind him. For now, though, both Davis and Lively are injured, so we'll have to wait and see how their front court rotation shapes up when they're fully healthy. The expected primary front court rotation for the Mavs includes PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, Daniel Gafford, and Derek Lively, a solid lineup for Dallas. Now, the question is whether Davis can prove that he's better as a power forward, similar to his 2020 Lakers championship run. However, there's another concern. Davis's three-point shooting has been terrible over the past 5 seasons, averaging just 26% from beyond the arc. If this trend continues and he fails to space the floor for Dallas, their offense could suffer. A non-shooting center combined with a poor shooting power forward could severely limit their spacing, potentially hurting Kyrie Irving's offensive game by clogging the paint. That being said, the Kyrie Irving and Anthony Davis duo still looks promising. They form an inside-out offensive threat, and their pick-and-roll combination will be a nightmare for defenses. A matchup between an elite shot creator and a dominant interior presence. That's incredibly difficult to stop. Of course, Luka and Kyrie were also a formidable duo, but this new pairing presents a different challenge for opposing defenses, since Irving now has a big man as his co-star. Additionally, the Mavericks brought in Klay Thompson, who will provide valuable spacing as a lethal shooter, ready to punish defenders if given any space. Their supporting cast also includes Spencer Dinwiddie, Jaden Hardy, Dante Exum, Najee Marshall, and Max Christie, who has been steadily improving. Overall, the team's depth looks solid, but is it strong enough? That will only be revealed when the playoffs arrive. As for the starting lineup, they have Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, and either Derek Lively or Daniel Gafford. Among them, Washington is the biggest question mark, as it's uncertain whether he can effectively play small forward. However, given his improved three-point shooting this season, the Mavs might give him a shot in that role. Max Christie is another intriguing option. He could play as the shooting guard, with Irving at point guard and Klay at small forward. Christie has shown promise recently and has good size for a guard, making him a potential two-way player. However, securing playing time could be challenging since the Mavericks also have Quentin Grimes, Dinwiddie, Exum, and others in their backcourt rotation. Still, he might carve out a role if he continues to impress. As of now, the Mavericks sit in 8th place in the Western Conference standings. Not an ideal position, especially with more than half of the regular season already completed. Their injury issues haven't helped either. But since the Mavericks front office has labelled this a win-now team, expectations remain high for them to turn their season around with Davis. If they fail to do so, fan frustration will only grow. In my opinion, trading away their franchise player was a highly questionable move. Luka Doncic, a generational talent, led them to the NBA Finals just last season. Yet, instead of addressing whatever issues they had with him, whether it was defense, conditioning, or contract negotiations, they chose to move on. Luka had expressed his desire to retire as a Maverick, yet now he's gone, along with more than $100 million in potential earnings. This has damaged the Mavericks' front office's reputation among NBA fans. That's why this season and the next 2 seasons are crucial for Dallas. They must prove that this decision was the right one. The pressure is immense because if they fail to at least match Luka's achievements, let alone surpass them, and if Luka goes on to become the face of the league and wins an MVP with the Lakers, this could go down as one of the worst trades in NBA history.